The conclusion of The Boys is rapidly approaching, and information is already circulating about what we might witness in the final episode. This intelligence comes from leaks attributed to an individual who allegedly worked on the visual effects team of the production. All of this will be detailed below. In this video, the entirety of the leaked data corresponding to the concluding chapter will be presented. Be advised that this content contains plot revelations, so the viewer has been notified. Ready? Let's begin. First, we will address the officially confirmed information, then delve into the leaks. Officially, it has been verified that Episode 8 will have a runtime of 1 hour and 5 minutes, thus ruling out the possibility of a 2-hour special chapter. The complete storyline must be resolved within that 1-hour window. According to the leaks, the chapter will be intense and packed with combat and violent scenes, given that the production reserved the majority of the budget for this finale. In fact, a promotional poster was recently released that foreshadows a warlike confrontation at the White House. This graphic material is official. With this framework as reference, let us begin with the leaks. The episode opens with Homelander delivering a speech to the world during a press conference. In this space, he announces his absolute leadership as an incarnate deity. Ashley Barrett accompanies him, though she appears visibly terrified. Homelander will declare that those who do not believe in him must perish, along with the followers of Starlight. The audience grows alarmed and begins to show signs of distress. No one accepts the notion that Homelander is a divinity. Here occurs a breaking point when Homelander perceives the heartbeats of those present and realizes that no one supports him. This moment proves devastating for him and shatters the divine illusion he had built over such a long time. A generalized massacre erupts. Homelander begins eliminating attendees during a live television broadcast. The leaks are very specific in stating the following. Homelander will flay a journalist and eliminate a reporter who is expecting a child. Supposedly, he will even extract the fetus from the mother's womb. This scene will finally reveal Homelander's true nature to the entire world. Everyone will identify him as the monstrous creature he always was. The armed forces of the United States will intervene in the conflict to attempt to stop him, but they will simply be neutralized. It is claimed that the majority of the season's budget will be invested in these combat sequences. What will happen to Oh Father? He will be horrified by Homelander's actions, since attacking civilians means no one will join his congregation. Recall that Oh Father intended to use Homelander to generate income through new devotees. Faced with this situation, Homelander questions whether he maintains his loyalty or plans to betray him like everyone else. But before Oh Father can respond adequately, Homelander will split him in 2 halves. Ashley Barrett perceives what is happening. She understands that she will be next, so she decides to escape in the most cowardly way possible. Now let us move to the scenes involving the group of protagonists. The chapter for them will begin with sadness due to the death of Frenchie. They organize one final assault against Homelander. They also coordinate a strategy to contain Soldier Boy, since they are unaware that he is in a cryogenic state. The plan consists of employing Kimiko Miyashiro's new abilities to remove the compound from Homelander's bloodstream. Meanwhile, we will observe Ryan Butcher, who is hidden in New Zealand, but he will learn of the massacre that occurred at Homelander's press conference thanks to social platforms. Upon finding out, he immediately travels to the United States to join the fight. We have scenes of Starlight reuniting with the Gen team. We already witnessed in Episode 7 the return of Marie Moreau and Jordan Lee, but according to the leaks, Sam Riordan will also appear. Here comes an emotional part. Homelander will locate the protagonist's hideout, but there will be no one there, and he will only find Terror, Billy Butcher's canine. Terror will see Homelander and urinate on his boots. This will cause Homelander to eliminate him with his optic beams. The leaks are very specific in indicating that Homelander will split Terror into 2 sections, then abandon the location. The protagonists return to the base and will find Terror lifeless. This deeply affects Billy Butcher. He becomes desperate and expresses his desire to eliminate all supes, a colloquial term for powered beings. The leaks indicate that this scene will be very moving. At this moment, Ryan Butcher will appear. joining the group and stating that he will fight. Now the collective is complete. They are the protagonists, Ryan Butcher, and all the characters from Jen. The objective consists of assaulting the White House. Here awaits Homelander, accompanied by an army of soups. This part coincides perfectly with the promotional poster that was shown earlier. The confrontation begins with Starlight versus the Deep. The Deep requests help from the other soups, but no one supports him. Starlight overcomes him and eliminates him once and for all. Ryan Butcher, Billy Butcher, Starlight, Marie Moreau, and Kimiko Miyashiro enter the presidential room where Homelander is located. The confrontation begins, but Homelander demonstrates superiority. Marie Moreau inflicts considerable damage with her blood-based abilities. Billy Butcher manages to immobilize him using his appendages. Here appears Huey Campbell, who uses the viral agent against Homelander. This weakens him and knocks him down in the same way it affected Soldier Boy in episode 2. But the viral agent is not sufficient. Kimiko Miyashiro seizes the moment to detonate her great radiation explosion. When the detonation concludes, everyone is unconscious except Billy Butcher and Homelander. Both realize they no longer possess abilities. Homelander is terrified by the circumstance and falls into panic. The leaks indicate that he even begins to cry like a coward. Here develops a final confrontation, this time without special abilities. Billy Butcher completely humiliates Homelander and eliminates him with his classic metal bar. The confrontation has concluded. There is a time jump that shows us what will happen to the protagonists. Billy Butcher escaped and lives peacefully in Hawaii, without abilities or additional worries. The tensions with the rest of the collective have been resolved, given that everyone visits him occasionally. There are even scenes of Ryan Butcher spending time with him. Mother's Milk reunites with his family again and completely abandons his life of confrontations. Kimiko Miyashiro finds comfort in caring for Ryan Butcher, who is a young man who needs a family unit. Ashley Barrett escaped to France to recover her youthful stage away from corporations. The government of the United States destroys the Vought Tower, and the organization collapses completely. Here appears Stan Edgar, who wishes to reactivate Vought in another territory. The scene shows us that everything will move to Mexico, making room for the new spin-off project of the series in Mexican territory, and for a final surprise. They show us that Starlight and Huey Campbell got married and moved to Mexico. This scene would connect both characters with the new spin-off project. The leaks conclude by indicating that there will be a post-credits scene which will be starring Soldier Boy. There are no details about the scene, but supposedly it will connect with the spin-off project titled Vought Rising, and so concludes the chapter, at least according to the leaks. What do you think? Would you like an ending of this nature? Before you get excited, these leaks differ from those that have been presented previously. They come from a different source. In previous content, leaks have been shown from people who viewed episodes 1 through 7. These people were members of the press who had early access to the episodes, but for obvious reasons they were never shown episode 8. The leaks for episode 8 come from a person who supposedly worked on the visual effects of the chapter. With this context, we must consider this information with caution. There are no absolute guarantees. Now I will share my opinion on the leak. Personally, I quite like what I read and believe it would represent a good conclusion for the series. However, there are aspects that do not fully convince me. For example, the leak completely omits the idea that Billy Butcher had to eliminate all soups using the viral agent. The same leak indicates that they killed his canine, so he wanted revenge. But later they forget about this topic. This detail does not fully convince me and makes me question the information. Be that as it may, that is all I have available. What is your opinion? Would you like an ending of this nature? Leave me your comments. But well, that is all for today. If you liked the content, you would help me considerably by leaving me an approval. That would be legendary.